you step up your game and start crushing your Instagram?
Who the f are you?
I'll show you. First of all, I'm not wearing a jacket anymore. Second of all, this Instagram tutorial is going to be different than all the other ones on YouTube. Let me explain. Take a look at this. Can we get the lights, please? So this is what most people do, okay? They, in order to get information about like Instagram tips, tricks, and stuff, they'll check two places. They'll Google it, or they will look on YouTube. And when they do that, they find individuals who share their personal experience, like very subjective takes on how to most effectively use Instagram. But they're ignoring lots of other different ways that might be more in-depth and accurate. I want to figure that out, so what did I look for? Composition. It's key to creating really good pictures and a really good aesthetic for your whole account. But what is it? PhotographyLife.com defines composition as the placement of relative objects and elements in a work of art. I think when most YouTubers talk about composition, they'd probably bring up general rules of photography like rule of thirds, Fibonacci spirals, the golden ratio. But that's not what we're doing here. This first scientific study used something called content analysis. What is that? It's when you take a piece of media like radio, newspaper, video, and break down general trends into numbers. Super reliable. So back to the study. What's in the frame? Is it a person, landscape, a brand? How do you most effectively compose all these different things? They couldn't look at all of Instagram and draw conclusions. There's just too much different stuff out there. So they picked one thing: fashion. They looked at 503 posts from the top 10 fashion bloggers. What did they find worked best? I went to try it for myself. Frame yourself in the center of a wide shot where you can see your whole body against some significant background. Those are the trends they found from these top bloggers. This next study looked at what color compositions are most effective for branded content. The context is super important for this. They looked at branded collections of user-generated content. So they looked at brands that take different pictures from amateur people and collect it into one curated feed. They looked at brands like Target and Coach, and it's so detailed. Like, you need to check this out. There's a link down there. They not only checked out the effect of colors on click rates, but they analyzed every single Instagram filter's effect, and it's crazy. Before I get to the findings, there's three key words that they analyzed here: hue, chroma, and brightness. The combination of these factors is what they considered color composition. This is a quote from their main finding. We find that click rates are higher for photos that include higher proportions of green and lower proportions of red and cyan. We also find that chroma of red and blue are higher in photos with higher click rates. Other little findings: cyan usually gets a bad consumer response. The Instagram filters Amaro, Sierra, and Valencia were especially found to have bad effects on click rates. There are a few things to keep in mind here. Color composition is one of many elements that affect click rates, like the emotional aspect of the picture, the visual complexity, who's in the picture. So this isn't the end-all be-all. It's super important to keep in mind the context of this. This is for user-generated content for big brands. The previous study found that fashion bloggers actually tend to change their color composition based on the season. Summer might have warmer colors, winter would have blues and whites, so keep that in mind with your own profile. This next study compared professionally shot studio pictures with pictures that have a snapshot aesthetic. These pictures are taken of average situations or look like your friend that knows photography took them. Between these two categories, what seems more credible? What do people want to recommend to their friends more? What makes you think better about the brand? And of course, who gets more likes? These charts show how the aesthetic is the core factor that affects these three other variables. But brand attitude and word of mouth are also affected by source credibility and the number of likes the picture gets. This is also affected by the aesthetic, so it's all connected. The snapshot aesthetic won in every single one of these categories, so don't worry that you're not shooting like some magazine photographer. Just two last things. One, post. Always be making content. You're not gonna grow if you're not making stuff and sharing it with the world. And also, be resourceful. Look for every single possible way to find information about something. Don't just go to the obvious places. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow my Instagram in the description. Please subscribe, like the video if this helped you out, and good luck with your Instagram.